What's up, independent agents? Are you driving your clients off to the carrier self-servicing platforms after the sale just to minimize your service demand? Stop doing that with the premier mobile and web agency solution, GloveBox. Now you can keep your clients in front of your agency at all times, all while delivering the carrier self-service experience that will minimize your service costs and absolutely wow your customers. On top of that, GloveBox will help you increase your cross-sales, referrals, and overall retention with an easy-to-use policyholder interface. Trust me, guys, we're using this at Portal Insurance, and this is literally happening. We are selling policies and servicing policies through our app. Schedule your demo with GloveBox today, and be sure to mention the Insurance Guys podcast for 20% off of your subscription for the life of your account. Guys, it's so cool that I can tell my clients, download the Portal app. Thanks, GloveBox.
Insurance agents from around the world, welcome to the Insurance Guys podcast, powered by GloveBox. God, I love GloveBox. My name is Scott Howell, your fearless host and leader, insurance agency owner and insurance evangelist for I Protect Insurance and Financial Services, based out of Huntsville, Alabama. And before we get started on today's episode, please help me welcome. He is a 6'3" sophomore from Saraland, Alabama. Parade first team All-American, Rivals 5-star recruit. He is a fantastic insurance agent and a great American. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome the incomparable Mr. Bradley Flowers. How are you, Bradley?
Great, Scott. How are you today?
Best I have ever been. Bradley, why does it feel like we've done like 75 podcasts in the past 3 or 4 weeks?
It does, because we're getting ready for me to go out on leave.
I'm telling you right now, should we go ahead on this podcast? Well, I guess this podcast will be coming out afterwards.
Yeah, it will.
But Bradley had the most brilliant idea yesterday that I have ever heard of. We are going to give not one, but 2 podcast listeners the opportunity of a lifetime to be Scott Howell's co-host on the Insurance Guys podcast for 2 episodes apiece. So I am looking forward to making that video either today or tomorrow for us to start running some ads related to the ways that you guys can sign up. And Bradley, do you have anything to add? I'm just fired up about it. I'm excited.
I am excited about that. I think that'll be good. Unfortunately, the contest will probably be over by the time this releases.
I know.
But I just got a text message that made me really, really happy 2 seconds ago, and I feel the need to announce it on this podcast.
Go right ahead.
I got a message from a carrier rep that said, "Have you heard any rumors about us lately?" And I'm like, no. And the rumor was they were just approved in Alabama. I'm not going to say who it is because it's not official, but everybody listening to this knows who it is. Anyway, continue, Scott. Sorry.
So is it somebody that we can both write insurance with? Or is
it is. It is.
Coastal insurance carriers that I've never heard of before.
It is. Sorry. I know that's like way off base. But anyway, carrier I've been trying to get to Alabama for a while. So
guys, we are fired up about being here with you guys today. As I always like to say, rewards come from action, not discussion. Our job on this podcast is to do one thing and one thing only. And my humble opinion is we do a pretty damn good job of it. We are here to row the light boat, row your boat right over there to the lighthouse to try to make you more money, to make you a better insurance agency, to make you a better agent, a better account manager, a better CSR, whatever we can do to help you. That is what we are going to do. And I have a fantastic guest on the show today, and I hope that you guys will listen to this podcast, turn it off, maybe go try to implement things that we talk about today in your office. Well, if they work, great. As Mike Stromso likes to say, big doors swing on little hinges. And it's that one tiny little thing that maybe you weren't doing yesterday that you start doing today that could change your whole agency, the complexion, the trajectory of which way your agency is growing and going. And I hope we're able to do that today. So before we get started, let me give this gentleman the introduction he's always deserved. Ladies and gentlemen, he was born, raised, and lives in Brentwood, Tennessee. He is married to the beautiful Rachel, and he attended college at Middle Tennessee State University. He is a broker agent at HQ Insurance with over 6 years of experience in the insurance industry. He is also known as your boring insurance agent, as the director of Connect Nashville Business Networking, a local networking community of over 10,000 business professionals.
Whew, it's a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my profound honor today to introduce to you first-time guest on the IGP. I give to you Mr. Josh Minton. How are you, Josh?
Doing great. Thank you for that kind introduction. I appreciate it.
Man, thank you for being here, brother. We got a lot to talk about today.
I'm excited.
So before we get started, I am wildly interested in you for a number of reasons. Take us back in time, climb in my DeLorean. Now, this is two big old boys getting in the DeLorean right now. We're going to fill this thing up. Get in my DeLorean, go back in time. Tell me how you got started in the insurance industry and bring us up to today.
Yeah. Well, so I went to college for physical education and wanted to be a teacher. And actually, through going through a lot of different professions, ended up at Hertz Rental Car, was managing rental car locations, and decided I wanted to take the jump. I'd been recruited by Liberty Mutual a few times. So I made the leap, tried it out, and loved it ever since. In 2019, I made the change from a captive to a broker. And I've been with HQ ever since.
So tell me a little bit about you today in terms of what kind of business you're writing. Is it personal lines? Is it commercial, life? What are you doing?
Mainly personal lines in life.
Okay.
Started with Liberty. I had to be at personal lines only. And so I'm starting to really jump more into the commercial lines stuff now as we speak. But I'm not wanting to jump too quickly into it and not know enough about it before I maybe make a few mistakes on some things. So working my way in that direction now.
Now, there's the next thing I'm wildly interested in. Tell me about HQ Insurance. I did a little research on you guys this morning. I want to hear more about it. Looks like you guys are about the same size agency we are down here. Looks like you are based out of Nashville, and just talk a little bit about what you guys do.
Well, HQ Insurance started as a health insurance company. It was Health Quotes USA.
Ouch.
I like the name.
Yeah, I love it too, actually. And the owner actually decided he wanted to get into the P&C business, started that side of it, and that's when HQ Insurance came into play, and we've been growing ever since.
Let me tell you something. I have about once a month, somebody will go, why don't you sell health insurance? And my response to that is because I don't have a 35-story high rise and about 2 million cubicles to put people in to just sit around and answer billing questions about their policy, questions about what's covered, questions about what's not covered. If you ever want to jump into the healthcare field, ladies and gentlemen, please do not call Scott Howell.
Also, somebody told me an interesting stat the other day. It was a referral partner that in Alabama, Blue Cross Blue Shield controls, I think, like 88% of the market.
Correct.
And the only two ways to buy from Blue Cross Blue Shield, to sell Blue Cross Blue Shield, is to either work directly for Blue Cross Blue Shield or work for Alpha, in which case they pay you 1% commission. So that's the other reason why a lot of people don't do health insurance in Alabama.
That is correct. I do know agents in other states, like Virginia, like some other places, where they use health insurance as a leader to get people in the door.
Yep.
And then they're like, hey, now that we're done with that, let's talk about your home and auto insurance. That is not uncommon in some other states, but I would rather do just about anything than sell health insurance, because all it leads to is 5 million questions, 4,075,000 of them I have no answer
and
to.
they go to the doctor and they find out their whatever test isn't covered, and they're pissed off at you, not anybody else.
That's exactly right.
You're looking trim and fit today. If I don't might say, have you been working?
Are you talking to me?
I'm talking to you.
Well, let me just go ahead.
You shaved your beard. That takes a little bit off.
Let me tell you something. I hate every son of a bitch on the Podcasters United Facebook Messenger. I hate every single one of them. They started all this 75 hard. I broke my hand hitting a heavy bag. I can't even sleep at night because it hurts so bad. And of course, I can't get in to see a freaking doctor because now
They want you to take a COVID test.
not only that, well, yeah, that plus, I mean, you're trying to get in to see an orthopedic doctor. So they're like, oh, Mr. Howell, we can work you in the day of November 22nd, 2023.
Yeah.
Then my wife has decided that I need to be on a diet. So let me tell you what we ate last night for dinner. Boy, you shouldn't have got me started on this, Bradley.
God. So now we know.
We had perch. I don't even know what perch looks like. We had grilled perch with Brussels sprouts for freaking dinner last night.
Sounds delicious.
I'm over here looking like a damn Holocaust survivor. And all these bastards on that damn Podcasters United thing are, wearing their Garmin watches and running 4 miles a day or whatever the hell they're doing. God, I'm so mad at
I feel like there's a story behind how you broke your hand.
No, I was hitting that heavy bag, that Everlast heavy bag in my
you can hit the heavy bag. You hit the heavy bag pretty good.
I do. And I went to hit it and I didn't have any wraps on. And so when I hit it, I hit the top of one of my knuckles and it bent my wrist down. And I think it just pulled all my ligaments and stuff in my hand. Ooh. Guys, we got a great podcast for you today. I'm sorry I got off on a tangent, but I'm over here starving to death, looking like a Holocaust survivor.
Ready for
you
some
could
more
almost see you could almost see the rage in his eyes when I said that, like he turned into the Incredible Hulk. You are looking good though.
Get to go home tonight and eat some grilled salmon with some
fried caterpillar
couscous on a bed of balsamic light vinaigrette dressing or something. Anyway, guys, fantastic podcast for you today. I want to talk to Josh Minton about what we came here to talk about. And that is he has put together a ultra cool kind of B&I, but not B&I group of people in Nashville that are funneling him tons of business. And I just want to hear about that. And I think we need to have a conversation about that. And then I'll let Bradley get on his soapbox about B&I. So go ahead, Josh.
Well, yeah, Connect Nashville. We're a networking community here in Nashville and Middle Tennessee. Really based off of a lender of mine, but a good friend of mine, Tony Bostic with Music City Mortgage. We met a long time. We were both probably 6 months into our careers. And we're just talking about networking, like how's it going, everything like that. And neither one of us had really been to a meeting or anything like that we were able to connect with people. And so the idea really formed from, let's just start our own thing. And if nobody comes, then we'll get to know each other really well. But if people start coming, we can kind of form it the way we want to. So that started probably 4 or 5 months of it being us and maybe 2 or 3 other people every week, things like that. And then we created a Facebook group. And the idea of the Facebook group really at the time was everybody's referral ask from that week, we can post it in the group. So that way the people that couldn't be there can see it and still help each other out. Well, once we did that, we started getting 20, 30 people to the meetings every week. We were asked to open up other meetings in other locations. And that was back in 2017, I believe. And now we're at 6 meetings across Middle Tennessee every week. We actually have a 7th that we're waiting for the location to let us get back into. Happy hours once a month that are getting 150 people every single happy hour, things like that, and 10,000 members in the Facebook group.
So you glossed over it, but 7 meetings a week,
yes.
One a day.
Actually, 2 in one day, actually. So, yeah. So
a couple things to this. One, I was going to say this off the air, and I said, no, I'll wait till we get on the air. One of my problems with B&I, and I've even looked at maybe doing my own paid mastermind kind of thing back in the years ago locally. This is pre-podcast, and like the B&Is are $500. I think for our mastermind we talked about it was like $100. Well, at the end of the day, it's like, wait a minute, we're the product. The people are the product. So like, what are you paying B&I $500 for? You know what I mean? And so you could make the argument that, oh, well, you're paying because you have the access to the best of the best. And while that could be true, the problem you run into, especially with some of these startup groups, these startup B&I groups, is they work you like a dog And it's not, oh, we're looking for the best of the best echelon mortgage lender. No, we're looking for the first son of a gun that's going to pay us $500 or $10 a week or whatever it is. Right. And it's like, we'll take you if you can
You're
fog a
exactly
mirror,
right.
and then we'll weed you out. So why do all that when you can create your own group? And one thing that I love about what you've done is not only did you do that and create your own group, but it sounds like a pretty elaborate operation. And I have no, anybody that's here and all about BNI and getting business from it. Like, I think that's fine. I'm cool with that. Like, if that's your thing, that's your thing. But kind of take us through, you and I spoke on the phone a couple of weeks ago. Take us through kind of the process of like the way it works and like what you guys do. Because there's definitely plenty of agents listening to this that probably want to replicate that in their own town.
Oh, for sure. So if every meeting has the same bones of the structure of the meeting. Everybody goes around and gives us their 60-second elevator pitch, their referral ask for the week. And then we do everything we can to leave 10 minutes at the end of the meeting for people to connect, set some one-to-one meetings, everything like that. So everything really wraps around that. But then what we're doing is our meeting facilitators are taking everybody's referral ask down. Once the meeting's over, we go to the Facebook group and we tag everybody with their referral asks.
So you're taking the ask and doing it the opposite. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And so we're tagging everybody with it to try to generate more contacts, more business. And the crazy thing is we see on a weekly basis, people that don't go to those meetings reading through the post, even posts with like 30, 40 people, and getting in the comments saying, hey, I really want to talk to so-and-so. I need your services. We're seeing referrals being passed from people that they might live 45 minutes away from that meeting, but they're reading the post and they need their services and going from that. So it's actually been pretty cool to see it as we grow, to see more and more of that happening.
So you got 10,000 members. Safe to say you can post in there. You can pick a business out of a phone book, find the owner's name and say, hey, does anybody know this guy or this gal? And you're going to have 3 or 4 people in there that probably know them.
Probably do. And the one thing so we have a really highly engaged audience. We brought Samantha Vandekamp on with VDK Digital a long time ago to help us really with the social media aspect of it. And one of the things we found is that our group is highly engaged. A lot of Facebook groups like the hit pages, they might have 20,000 members, but they're getting, 4,000 that people that are engaged. Well, with our 10,000, we're at about 7,000 engaged members right now. People that are commenting weekly and things like that and getting engaged. And so the one thing we're doing to keep that from going down is we don't allow businesses to come in and just post commercials every day. Mm-hmm. You can't post the way to get your commercial out is to come to a meeting, tell us what we can do for you, and post it. But then on Mondays, we have our welcome post for all of our new members where they can tell us about their business in the comments. And then we have something called Connection Friday. We say, hey, if you haven't made a meeting, put your referral ask in the comments here. We'll try to help you connect that way as well. So trying to give everybody ways to promote their business without tons of commercials and deals being posted in there every day.
So what are you doing I know BNI can be real rulesy. That was kind of my biggest gripe with it back in the day, 2013, 2014, when I was a young guy getting started. Very rulesy, lots of red tape. They would split the commercial insurance seat up and the personal seat up, and things would get real weird. And people want to try, life insurance seat. People want to try to get their buddies in there, and it just gets real political. What have you got? And obviously, with a group of 10,000 people, you're going to definitely have some kind of politics. But what have you guys done to kind of combat that, and kind of what are your checks and balances, I guess, would be the question.
Well, so none of our meetings are single seat. Anybody can show, there aren't rules to them. Anybody can show up whenever they want. They don't have to show up if they don't want to, things like that. We even have, on Friday, we've got a virtual meeting. So if you can't get to any of the in-person meetings, you can jump on that as well. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing I think it takes a lot of the politicalness out of it. Is the fact that anybody can be. Yeah, exactly. Like 2 weeks ago at East Nashville meeting, we had like 7 lenders, 5 real estate agents, and like 5 insurance guys. And like, we can all work together. There's enough business out there. We can all
prove that you were the best person.
Exactly.
And then if somebody acts like a deal weed, they're no longer in the group. Like, it's almost a better way to weed out the bad apples by having them in the room with people that are doing the same thing that they're doing versus having one person here. I remember in one of the groups that I either visited or tried to join, there was a guy in there. I'm not going to say the business, but like in this group, it was like, oh, he's the best at this. But then like once you did business with him, it's like, oh, this guy's really bad at his job. Like really, really bad, you know? And so whereas like in a situation where there's like 2 or 3 people in that sector of whatever industry in there, you're going to see that a lot faster, you know?
Mhm.
And if people can't get along, they don't belong in the groove. And I'm assuming you guys have had that happen as well.
We have. I mean, typically we tell a lot of people our focus is to help connect people, and whether regardless of if we're the same, like other insurance agents come along, I'm like, hey, we can all help each other get better. We don't have to compete with each other. And the people that don't have that mentality typically show up to a meeting and we never see them again. People that are only worried about what's coming to me, we
Yeah.
typically don't see them come back.
Interesting.
So tell me how many referral leads that you personally
That's what I was going to
are
ask.
getting out of 10,000 members. And
Did you see an uptick in business from when you started it?
Yes, definitely. Gradually, you can kind of see as the group grows. So, for
Mhm.
instance, we had in 2019, into 2019, we only had about 1,500 members in the group. And during COVID, it actually grew rapidly. We were bringing in 200 people a week. As that grew, I started seeing more and more referrals. And then we actually created a membership platform with it to where we actually promote your business. So like if somebody goes in there and asks for a recommendation for an insurance agent, my name and the other insurance agent that are members actually are the first, like our page goes in there and recommends them first and says, these are our preferred vendors, love to connect you with them, things like that. And I can't tell you how many referrals I started getting once we started doing that. And the funny thing is I would get to talk to that person and probably write that business, but then somebody else would read through the comments, see that, and call me or email me too and say, hey, I saw your preferred vendor. I'd love to talk to you.
Do you guys encourage people to pick one person, or is it like, hey, pick as many as you want?
Yeah, shop it around. I always encourage people to shop your insurance around. Make sure you're with the right carrier for your needs, even as your needs are changing. And most of the people in our group do the same and say, hey, let me be one of the people you shop with and we can show you what we can do for you.
So one thing I like that you've done, to what level, obviously you said you saw an increase in business when you started this, to what level though? Has it been like just massive, and now the referrals from this group are the main thing you're getting, main way you're getting your, like give me the dynamic there, and I'm going somewhere with this.
Yeah, I would say 80 to 85% of my business comes out of Connect Nashville.
Yeah.
Whether it's the in-person meetings or whether it's people that I've met that maybe don't come to the meetings anymore, but are now referral partners, things like that. I'd say probably 80 to 85.
And how many years had you been in the business prior to starting this referral group?
So we started it in 2017. So I was in 2 years in.
Okay. So not a ton of experience.
No.
Perfect. So Scott and I get a lot of questions from new agents, especially asking, hey, I'm getting started in the business, or I've been in a year or 2 years, 3 years. I'm struggling with this. How do I get more business? That sort of thing. And the how do I get more business is always a very like up in the air kind of question, because you could ask 50 different people and they're going to give you 50 different answers, right? And one thing that I've told people in the past, and I certainly didn't come up with this analogy, is no matter your experience level, sorry, I'm a little under the weather today, no COVID. No matter your experience level, being the kid in high school who hosts the party is always the better way to go. Regardless of what that is, it may be, hey, you do a podcast. All of a sudden, you're the cool guy in the room. Does not matter what your experience level is. My definition of cool guy is the person everybody wants to be around. They want to be on your podcast. What you've done, as opposed to joining a networking group that's already existing or not doing anything, is you've said, hey, I'm going to be the guy hosting the party, and I'm going to be the one creating the group, and then people are going to come to me. And I think it's absolutely brilliant.
It's very true. I've actually seen in some of our meetings that I run, like other insurance agents do not come back because they're, well, Josh has got, like, he's hosting the event. Everything's coming through him. Which I don't really push that. I would prefer them to come. Like, we can all help each other. But it's the nature of the beast. You're in front of everybody every
Does
week.
CJ come?
CJ comes. He's actually going to help us with a new one.
Good. I was going to put him on blast if he didn't.
Oh yeah. But yeah, and that's the thing. I'm posting in the group every week, and people see that. So the people that don't come to the group see my name all the time in the group and remember it over time. So you're exactly right. It's the kid hosting the high school party is the coolest one, you know. And that's what I tell all of our facilitators. Like, it's a little bit of work, but at the end of the day, you're going to differentiate yourself from everybody because you're the one doing that work for everybody.
Having that many people though, 10,000 now. I mean, and that it's so crazy that rapid transformation that you went through once you guys implemented the Facebook part of this, the Facebook group part of this. That really sounds like the springboard that got you to that next level, so to speak.
Really was.
What do you do when you get somebody in there that's a troublemaker, drama, political, like wanting to cause stir trouble? I mean, do you guys have to have tough conversation with people sometimes?
We've had tough conversations with people. I like to call them reality checks. Like, hey, this isn't helping you. This isn't helping you grow your business by acting this way. We've had to kick some people out of the group. We've had to ask people not to come back to meetings before. But it doesn't happen very often. And typically the people that would end up being troublemakers weed themselves out in general, because they're looking at it from the perspective of, well, I haven't gotten anything out of this meeting. I've been twice. And they're saying, well, I'm going to go find something else. And it's like, well, that's not the way to look at networking.
Right.
I remember when I started a local group here, Mobile Young Entrepreneurs. We had about 300 members, or closer to 1,000 maybe. I think the group had been in existence 1 month, and we had a nut job that came through, and we had our first event, and we considered hiring security to keep him from coming to the event because he said he was going to come and cause trouble. So I can imagine 10 times that. You've definitely, I think you're probably playing a little coy there. I think you've probably definitely had some pretty ridiculous nut jobs for sure.
We haven't had to hire security yet. I'll give you that one.
We didn't hire security. We considered it.
Okay. Yeah.
Josh.
Yeah.
If Bradley and I want to start this particular group, Connect Huntsville, Connect Mobile, is that a possibility?
Sure is.
Because here's my thing. I'm going to do a segue here with GloveBox. So the GloveBox app, our title sponsors GloveBox. And I've always said, you can either take all the work that Ryan and Andy and those guys have done to create this fantastic mobile app for independent insurance agents. You can take that, use it, help your clients with it, or you can go out yourself and hire about 5 developers, spend somewhere between
$250,000,
$500,000 to $1 million. Then, okay, after we get our janky ass app created, because it will be janky, and but you'll think it's the greatest thing ever because you're the one that did it, right? But it'll be janky. Then you go out to all these carriers, fly all over the U.S. for a year, and try to get them to help, get your app off the ground. And by the time that's all over with, or you could just use the GloveBox app. It's kind of up to you, whichever you prefer. Same thing with this. Like, I could go out and hire the social media person and do all the stuff that it would take to get this thing off the ground, which, it took y'all just a hot minute. It wasn't like you just like how long was it? 3 years?
Yeah. 2017 is when we started them for sure.
Yeah. So 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, why not just climb on the back of somebody else that's already been there, done that, got the t-shirt, already been to the rodeo, seen the clowns, and utilize what's already out there that is good, maybe not perfect, but it's good, rather than go do your janky ass thing that's you're going to have to spend 3 times as much time to do, and it probably ain't going to work as well.
Well, it's funny you say that. We've had a lot of people try to create their own Facebook groups and do what we do. And a lot of people don't understand the work that we put into it. And honestly, like, I tell a lot of people, there's one person in particular that started one of their, I'm going to run it myself. I'm going to get all the leads. So like, I don't want to run our Facebook group by myself. We have 3 of us, and like, technically our other facilitators help us run it all. And that the team atmosphere of it is what makes it work. Mm-hmm. And so, we're working on a few things now to be able to have that offer. If you want to go to Louisville and start a Connect Louisville, things like that, we're working on that. That's coming down the line. Right. The first thing we want to do is the membership platform, to where we really promote the paid members to our audience and things like that. And then that's our next step, is to start looking at things like that. I had a guy that I went to Liberty Mutual training with back in 2015, who is an insurance agent in Louisville. And he's like, I really want to start a Connect Louisville. I was like, well, let's talk. He's seen what we're doing.
I think this would work even in a small town. A lot of agents listening to us right now are in small town America, and they're probably like, psh, they're doing the psh, he's in Nashville. You can blindfold yourself and get 10,000. Well, that might be true. And there are a lot of young professionals, business professionals in Nashville, in Louisville, in Huntsville, in Mobile. But I contend that you could do a very similar thing on a smaller scale in a small population of people, and hand select that what I call hand in glove type people that ought to be working together. I think you could do it in a small town. I don't think it would be 10,000 members strong, but it might be 25, 30.
Exactly. And we took the approach of we're Connect Nashville, but in theory, we actually spread ourselves out to we're Connect Middle Tennessee now. We've got one of our second meeting we started was Connect Spring Hill. It's a small town just south of Nashville. And that meeting's got 20, 30 people a week and we got about 600-700 people from Spring Hill in the group. So, I mean, there's ways to do it, and I think it helps get your reach of who you are to other cities close to you that would make sense for you to want to write business there, for sure.
What are you guys charging the members? Is there a fee?
There's not a fee to join the Facebook group. There's not a fee. Our membership platform has 3 different levels, and it really all depends on what you want out of the platform. So like our gold membership, you can, we have a weekly email that goes out to anybody on our email list, telling you about the meetings that week, any new updates. Our gold members are preferred vendors on that email, things like that. So we have a lot of different options, starting at $900 for the year, all the way down to $300 for the year.
Do you limit the type of business that can join? I mean, so it could be anybody. It could be anybody from car dealership person all the way to a insurance agent and everybody in between.
Exactly. We even have a lot of people that join, and in the questions we always have, like, what is your business? And they'll put moving to Nashville and just need to know people in certain areas, like I need a new insurance agent, I need X, I need Y, and we let them in too. It's a good way for our businesses to be exposed to people moving to Nashville as well.
You ever have any like types of businesses that you don't want them to join?
That's a really good question. There are a lot of businesses that I would probably say that about, but we don't really limit it, to be honest with you. We just want to help people. Whatever business you're in, we want to be able to help you grow as much as we can. And so that's why we don't really limit it with the business that comes into the group. But if something happens there, we're not afraid to say, hey, this might not be the group for you.
Another solid tip that I use in some of the groups I manage is when people request to join, you can put the questions, like the pre-qualifying questions. And for the local business owner group that I did, we had where's your business? What's your business? Where is your business located? And where are you located? And you would just be shocked, Scott, at the number of people that just bomb those 3 questions, that like they can't even make it past those 3 questions. Like you're out,
Here's my question. Here's my question, Josh, and I want to make sure that I'm not saying something that's stupid, but I typically do. So what keeps Bradley and I from forming a website called the Insurance Guys Connect, and having insurance agents from all over the country? Maybe the front of it's a map of the United States of America, and insurance agents that listen to the podcast can go in there and they can register their name, picture, phone number, email address, website. And the whole purpose of the whole thing is to connect, insurance agents who have customers like in California that might be moving to Nashville, and they can like select an agent from in there to send a referral to, because they know that Mr. and Miss Smith are moving from Los Angeles to Nashville.
Nothing. And that's a great idea. Can I join?
I don't know. I mean,
I love that idea.
I'm not the brains of this operation. I barely scratched the 8th grade, so I'm not very smart. But, you know, it doesn't need to be something where it's like $200 a month to join, but like use it as like a connector all over the US where, you know, and put the emphasis on the agent. Hey, you want to come do this? You got to at least get on the site and go enter your information in. And it needs to be pretty detailed, like, you know, name, agency. You might even put in there what you specialize in, because let's say somebody's in San Antonio, Texas, and they specialize in trucking. Well, there might be a referral that way in another type of business besides just home and auto insurance. But there's something to that, and nobody that I know of. I know, like, okay, when you go to like Facebook groups like Insurance Soup and a lot of insurance groups that even ones I'm a member of, you'll see all the time people that'll say, hey, do we have any agents in here in Denver, Colorado? I've got a client moving to Denver. But there's nothing that I know of that is specifically, you know, geared towards that, where it's just a site for connections.
Well, it's funny. So CJ and I actually talked about that, about creating a private Facebook group, and just who's like have somebody in every state writes different things, a connect group, and just say, hey, like I've got somebody move into Illinois. I'm not licensed there. Who do I have in Illinois? Or you know, things like that. And I think that's because how many times does it come like maybe your agency isn't licensed everywhere, and they're like, hey, I'm moving here. It's like, well, I've got to find somebody now, and I don't know if I really trust that person yet because I don't know who they are.
Right.
But I think that would be a better way to build that trust. And I actually have thought that I think it's a great idea. Like I said, CJ and I talked about it probably about a month or two ago, trying to figure something out like that.
Yeah, I see that as being a great opportunity for somebody. There's also some other ideas I have relative to that. You could do something where you have like a standard document that is on that site that you can print out to, you know how if you're a real estate agent in like Tennessee and Bradley's your son-in-law and he wants to buy a house in Mobile, well, if your mother-in-law calls the real estate agent that has that listing, she gets a finder's fee, right? Maybe there's some kind of document that you could print out that if you refer somebody, maybe you get 25% of the commission. Obviously, you have to be licensed and all that good stuff, but the new business commission, not renewals. Something like that.
It's a great idea.
And tie it to like PayPal or something. So, of course, you don't get the commission unless you get the business. But if you do get the business, you agree to pay the referring agent 25% of that. I don't know. I'm just a little old bitty guy from Hamilton, Alabama. That's not
little
very
dog
smart.
named Tippy.
Yeah, little dog named Tippy.
I'll send you an invite to that Facebook group here in a couple of weeks. So
sweet, awesome,
man. That's good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I did not mean to get off on a tangent there, but I just think there's a great opportunity for somebody there. I have multi-billion-dollar ideas every hour. I certainly don't have time to follow through with a lot of those ideas. So what else do we need to talk about today, Josh? Tell me what the future holds for Connect Nashville, Connect Huntsville, Connect Mobile.
Well, I think first and foremost is we're really trying to grow the membership platform on top of growing our meetings. We're looking at opening up a few more meetings here in the Middle Tennessee area. And I think once we've got the platform running smoothly and all of our automation with that done, looking into maybe expanding or like a franchising opportunity type thing. We've talked about doing that in the future. We haven't really gotten into the details on that yet or anything. But I know that's something that is on the table or in the back of our minds all the time for sure. But right now, it's just really helping everybody grow, helping really supporting the Middle Tennessee professionals and things like that.
Let me tell you what you did.
What's that?
You did what BNI should have done 10 years ago. But unfortunately for BNI, stale, mail, and pale, trying to keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. They're over here doing their thing, still trying to hold on to the good old days, while my boy Josh is over here making it rain. So there you go, BNI. You screwed up. Josh wins.
Are you guys seeing? How are the?
There you
B&Is
go,
looking
Ivan
down in
Miser.
Alabama?
Ivan Meisner and his 60 million square foot house. I don't care. We're gonna have 2 spots for the Avon lady in every B&I group.
The Avon lady. Speaking of businesses,
Tell me
I
you
said
ain't
shouldn't
had
be
an
allowed in there.
Yeah.
Tell me you ain't had an Avon lady in your B&I group, and I'll tell you you're a liar. Everybody's had one.
Well, the one I was in we didn't have one, but also it was a startup. So
And every realtor's pitch is big or small, we sell them all.
just looking for buyers and sellers. That's all they say.
Just looking for buyers and sellers.
Please,
Bradley-
give me some business, please, please, please.
Bradley,
Scott,
how fast can you get Insurance Guys Connect up and running? Because I know you're the man of action. Get it, make it happen.
Now is not the time to throw any extra projects on me.
Come on,
so
man.
I'll say 2 days.
2 days. 2 days. You know what's gonna happen, don't you? I'm gonna wake up about November and somebody's gonna be on Facebook talking about we just created the greatest connection that's ever, and then
Ivans will buy it.
And it's, I was going to say 6 months from now, there'll be a press release come out that they sold out to Vertifor for $620 million. And I'll still be over here without a damn paved driveway at my house. That's how that works.
My goal, Scott, my life goal is for us to make enough money for you to pave your driveway. That is my.
I'm
goal.
telling
Life's
you, if
mission.
there is some way, somehow, somebody will screw me out of $1, they'll damn sure do it. They will flat freaking do it. No, I tell you, Josh, I am interested in this for Huntsville because we are one of the fastest growing.
Yes, you are.
I think with your team, dude, you could do something like this and do really well.
Well,
Because you have not only do you have a big team, but an active team, but you've got some characters too. You know, you could almost have Justin and Jessica do one, and then you could have Bruce Payne do one where tell me that would not work where Bruce is at, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I'm just telling you this. I ain't creating it. I may give Josh a check and say, we're going to take your platform and create, Huntsville Connect, but I'm not coming up with some janky ass Huntsville Connect thing that Scott tries to do. That's not happening.
Yeah, we can talk about that. I can see a Connect Huntsville coming down the line.
Guys, we love you. Josh, we love you. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
As I always end every podcast, ladies and gentlemen, rewards come from action, not discussion. Get your ass out for the love of 7 pound, 6 ounce sweet baby Jesus. Josh did it. He got out from behind his desk. He went out into the big bad world. He created something special. He now has 10,000 people sending him referrals and probably has more business than a show dog to jump over. Go do that. Go do something. Go run for governor. Go let everybody in your community know that you're the insurance guy or girl. Go make money for your family, for your wife, your husband, your kids' college fund, your parents who are out there struggling today. Go make money for them. Write good business for the agencies that you represent, and write good business for the companies that you represent. Bradley Flowers, I love you.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Josh.
Josh, I love you too, brother. Hey,
Right back at you.
Did I give you my cell phone number? If not, I will.
You did not.
Let me close this thing down so that I don't have 675,000 insurance agents calling my cell phone tomorrow.
Well, I was going to organize a mass text through Connect Nashville.
You can post it in the 10,000 person group and
Starting-
say for a good time call.
Yeah, starting at 5:00, everybody text this person with a hello.
Free Nintendo DS's. Text
Guys,
here.
you are listening to the Insurance Guys podcast. We love each and every one of you, and we hope that you will like and subscribe to our podcast, and we will see you back here real soon. Take care. Bradley, clap us out because I can't clap. Thanks for listening to the Insurance Guys podcast. If you need to know more about me or you need to get in touch with Scott, you can always reach me at theinsuranceguyonline.com or email me at scott@iprotectinsurance.com. And if you need to get in touch with Mr. Bradley Flowers, go to portalinsurance.com or email him at bradley@portalinsurance.com. Guys, we love you. We thank you so much for listening to our show and being a part of our family. And we look forward to seeing you again next week on the next episode of the Insurance Guys podcast. Take care.